Dedicated to sports and civic betterment since 1942, the Tacoma Athletic Commission is proud to recognize the accomplishments in a variety of athletic related endeavors, including trainers, athletes, and coaches. In this, our 80th year of existence, we're pleased to induct them into the Tacoma Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame, founded by TAC charter member Clay Huntington in 1957. Let's take a quick look at this year's honorees in some of their finer moments. There aren't enough superlatives to describe our three football honorees, but if you were looking for a shortcut to a championship season, these three would be as good as any to build a team around. A 1991 Spanaway Lake High School grad, where he was the state long jump champion as well as a football standout, Sheridan May tore it up at the University of Idaho, averaging 113.6 yards per game rushing, which is the top mark in UI history. He led the Big Sky in rushing for 3 consecutive years and finished his career as the 1AA all-time leader in touchdowns with 61. As a senior, he was selected to 3 All-America squads, and following his outstanding career as a Vandal, Sheridan played 2 seasons in the NFL with the New York Jets. The list of accomplishments is a mile long for Johnny Spivak, a quarterback at Puyallup who switched to catching passes at Central Washington University and is 5th all-time in Division II football with 54 receiving touchdowns. Spivak helped the Wildcats reach the NCAA Division II playoffs 3 times, including a number 1 ranking in 2009. Then, as a 4-year starter on the basketball team, he helped lead them to 3 postseason appearances as well. Johnny is no stranger to the TAC stage, having been also named the Dick Hanula Male Amateur Athlete of the Year in 2009. Hillary Butler, a 1989 Lakes High School grad, starred in football, track, and basketball for the Lancers before heading up to Seattle, where as a linebacker he helped the UW Huskies rout Michigan to claim the 1991 National Championship and a number 1 ranking in the coaches poll. In addition to playing in 3 consecutive Rose Bowls, he's also played in the Hula Bowl, 2 World Bowls for the Frankfurt Galaxy, and earned a Super Bowl ring with the 1997 Denver Broncos. And just for good measure, he was a member of the Lancers 4A title-winning 4x400 relay team. And the Golden Toe Award goes to Joey Jurtson, Narrows League Soccer MVP his senior year at Wilson, now Silas High School. NWAC MVP at Tacoma Community College with 31 goals and 14 assists. Player of the Year at Evergreen State. And hey, why not add one more MVP, which he earned with the Vancouver Whitecaps of the United States Soccer League in 2006. Joey was a veritable scoring machine everywhere he went, including his outdoor career with the San Jose Earthquakes of Major League Soccer, and then as captain of the Tacoma Stars indoor soccer team. When legendary swim coach Dick Hanula speaks, we listen. Paige Wright Olson was the last of the really outstanding swimmers of the Tacoma Swim Club. Her time of 2 minutes, 4 seconds for the freestyle 200 meters was the fastest Tacoma Pierce County time for that event from the 1950s to today, according to Dick. Folks, let that sink in for a second. We're talking about 80 years. A high school All-American and state champion in the 400 freestyle, Paige led the Foss Falcons to 3 state titles. At Northwestern University, she was a 3-time Big Ten first-team member, academic All-American, and NCAA All-American. All of our Hall of Famers have reached the pinnacle of success to garner today's recognition, but Eric Simonson took it to the extreme by standing atop Mount Everest in 1991. 10 years later, he became the 21st American to successfully climb the highest peak on each continent. His Ashford-based International Mountain Guides is now the largest Western guide service on Everest and one of our most respected in the world, now leading climbs on each continent's highest peak. Next on the list of accomplishments for this Charles Wright grad will be his 300th career summit of Mount Rainier, an achievement only attained by 8 others. Like the Doublemint Gum twins, these 2 1993 Wilson grads doubled our pleasure as they carried on a tradition of excellence on the volleyball court in high school and later at Gonzaga University. The Cabista twins, Christy and Jennifer, were both All-Narrows League in volleyball, basketball, and softball, and both achieved all West Coast Conference honors in volleyball at Gonzaga University. Jennifer finished 4th in school history and career kills, and Christy finished her career ranked 4th overall in total blocks. And both pay homage to their experience in the Tacoma School District, both as students and subsequently as educators. What ingredients does one find in a recipe for success? Dedication, focus, and courage sprinkled in with a mix of luck, coordination, natural ability, and intestinal fortitude. And what do you get? An ultra-talented Blake Serena, of course. A 1977 Stadium grad, the list of sports he's competed in is like this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Very impressive. Football, javelin, discus, shot put, race walking, wrestling, stone throw, don't ask, volleyball, team handball, no, don't ask about that one either, and Western Washington University's only All-American decathlete. Needless to say, Blake's ultra-athletic prowess is extensive. She may be a doctor now, but nobody doctored her 8 state championships at Bellarmine or the 7 All-American honors at Stanford. For Sarna Renfro Becker, talent, intestinal fortitude, and an unmatched work ethic were keys to her success. Distance running was her forte. Cross country and the 1,600 and 3,200 meter races were right up her alley. And as team captain at Stanford, she helped the Cardinal win the NCAA National Cross Country title as well. However, life was not all about successes. As she wrote, "I was less well known for being a struggling basketball player for 2 seasons. I once guarded Kate Starbird from Lakes, and she only scored 30 points. Sarna transferred her excellence on the track into skill as a physician, currently living and working in Michigan." Noted for driving a golf ball 300-plus yards, Tom Toole transformed his affable personality into training the golfing gorilla in the late 1970s and began performing at charity events and at Pro-Am celebrity tournaments. Usually arriving by helicopter, he would toss bananas around to crowds, crack lots of jokes, and ultimately put his vast range rat skill on display by hitting a variety of trick shots and tee-shot bombs. When the golfing gorilla arrived on the practice tee at the Tournament of Champions in La Costa, California for his first ever Pro Tour stop, the biggest names in golf couldn't believe their eyes. Tour stars Johnny Miller, Tom Kite, Jack Nicklaus, and Tom Weiskopf halted their practice to watch as the gorilla prepared to hit some shots. The tour's players' skepticism turned to admiration as he started skillfully hitting 300-yard drives. They came over afterward and said the drives are great, particularly with a handicap of a gorilla suit. At the Atlanta Classic, Tom Kite came up to the gorilla, who had just outdriven all the tour players in a shootout, and Kite said, "I don't know how you hit it in that suit. It's incredible." "I just had to remind him," the gorilla said. "Remember, Tom, you're only human."
You know, I've hit my share of golf balls into the woods of every golf course in this and others, including Sahalee out in Redmond. But today, I decided I'm never even going to go in the woods again at Sahalee or maybe at any other links. There's a gorilla out there. That's the Tacoma gorilla, folks. Notice the gallery in the lower part of the screen. It's a teddy bear behind the ropes. And can the gorilla hit it? Look at the ground and look at the encouragement. Matter of fact, any tree you look behind today, you would have found a gorilla because he played 18 holes in that full costume. Who he is? Well, I know, but I'm not allowed to tell you. No, that pendulum swings a little too high. I doubt it. For a birdie, 4. The gorilla. Trust me, the first try. The gorilla sinks one at Sahalee today. Shot 71 in that outfit. Who he is, again, I can't tell you, but he's a fine player. Gary, you've seen him play, and he does hit the ball like a gorilla.
North of Oak Brook earlier today, one of the greatest golfers in the world, certainly one of the greatest drivers, was teeing off from the top of the Tacoma Dome, that is. The golfing gorilla climbed up on that big thing, teed off, and officially opened the brand new dome in Tacoma. The word is his tee shot bounced once in Puyallup and reached Portland by 3:30 this afternoon. In the National Hockey League playoffs tonight, a couple of...
In golf, hottest property in town right now, the golfing gorilla. The Jackson Park practicing today for appearances around the country. Won't talk, but his trainer says hasn't been playing too long.
Gorilla has only played about, just a year, a few months. So he's real new at the sport. But The person we have trained to do it, I think he's played probably in the area of around 17 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people think that you're in that gorilla outfit. Now, is that right? Are you the gorilla?
Well, part of the contract is we can never admit who's in the gorilla costume, but if you're a betting person, I'd put your money on me. But a lot of people have speculated it might be, folks like, well, Richard Nixon name has come up a few times.
The golfing gorilla. You want to figure out who in the world is in that costume? I'll tell you, he can hit the ball a mile. He's going to Albuquerque to play in a golf tournament for Richard Pryor coming up this coming weekend. He was down playing in the Bum Phillips tournament at Houston last week. Bob Hope was there and Pryor was there at that time. Also, he's going to go back to the long driving contest, and he has a chance to win it. He can hit the ball over 300 yards, dead center in the fairway. He has to be the hottest property in golf right now, and you're going to see him around for a long time.
Possessing extraordinary athletic talent before she entered Wilson High, Debbie Miller was not a secret, as Darrell's League opponents already knew what to expect from her on that basketball court, in softball and soccer fields, and later on when she picked up the javelin and promptly set a school record that still stands today, 31 years later. But basketball was her forte, starting every game of her career, 89 in a row, leading the Narrows League as a senior in scoring, rebounding, and assists, and then racking up honors at Seattle Pacific University as well, including scoring more than 1,000 points in her career, setting the single-game assist record with 15, and being named the Athlete of the Year as a senior. A quarterback and safety on the Rogers Rams football team, where he was named SPSL Defensive Back of the Year as a senior, it was hoops where Tice Nasnick shone, leading the Rams to an SPSL crown, receiving league MVP accolades 2 years in a row, and averaging 23 points and leading Rogers to an 8th-place state tourney finish as a senior. A 1995 graduate, he's still the school's all-time leading scorer. At Central Washington University, the 6'4" guard remains the only 3-time captain in CWU history and is 8th all-time in scoring. Under his leadership, the Wildcats made it to the final 8 of the NAIA championships twice, and then to the final 16 in their first season of the NCAA Division II competition. Tice has been an assistant coach at Rogers for the past 13 years and is also the Rams' Hoops Youth Director. Getting to know every nook and cranny of the home clubhouse at Cheney Stadium in the 80s wasn't exactly what Walt Horn envisioned when he first joined the AAA Tacoma Tigers in 1984. But during those 11 seasons, he met his wife, raised 2 children, made numerous lifelong friendships, and was rewarded for his loyalty when he was finally promoted to the major leagues with the Oakland A's, where he spent 9 seasons before retiring in 2016. With 4 Pacific Coast League Athletic Trainer of the Year awards to his credit, including 1992 in Tacoma, Walt was in charge of keeping players such as Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Walt Weiss, Mike Gallego, Scott Brocious, and Jason Giambi healthy and on the field. Mission accomplished. This closes another chapter on the Tacoma-Pierce County Sports Hall of Fame, and we hope you'll agree that the class of 2022 is pretty impressive. Please join us in congratulating all of our Hall of Famers on their outstanding careers.